background intellectual property. But that said, I'd like to go ahead and move to the award because that's where a lot of this is really going to happen. The award itself can be created without a proposal, starting without a proposal or with one, because as we all know, we don't always have a proposal that matches up with an award. Sometimes we get money without it actually ever being formally proposed by the institution. So you can create an award when you receive the award letter or the grant or the contract, and you can associate it with proposals in the beginning or later on, depending on what the scenario is. So in this case, I just created a brand new award. It gives me the same document overview panel as we see in all Kuali eDocs. The funding proposal area is where I would actually add one of those institutional proposals. So I have a proposal development record. It's fully approved and submitted, generates an institutional proposal ID. I then get an award that's related to that proposal, and I can pull in that record so I'm basically not starting from scratch. A lot of the test institutional proposals that we have right now don't have a lot of information in them yet, so I'll skip that step. But what it basically does is pull in the proposal, populates all this information about the proposal, and fills in a few other pieces like who the sponsor is, what the proposed start and end dates were, so that you don't have to key it in all again, and you can make edits to the award where appropriate. The details and dates has a few different things going on, and just like the proposal, you'll see all these places with asterisks where there are required fields. In the case of the award, if you're starting from scratch, these are the things that need to be completed before you can save it and start working on it. It allows you to add different transactions to the award, like is this a new award, is it a no-cost extension, did you get some kind of approval on a transaction, like to purchase a piece of equipment or something like that, and you can add these different transaction items in as you go along. It generates an award ID, so this is just a system-generated number for this particular award. Brings in your lead unit from the institutional proposal. Allows you to have versions or what we call sequences in this, so that it changes every time something is added to the proposal or it's edited in some fashion, like different transactions are added, different modifications are added to this particular award. Allows you to identify an account type, and again, this is configurable by your school. Activity types, what kind of award it is, whether or not the award's active or something else is going on with it, and the title. With a sponsor ID, it's the same as the lookup against the proposal. Since we didn't get to see that earlier, I'll go ahead and show you now. It looks like the other lookups that you've seen in Kuali, where you can refine based on some search criteria and perform a search to bring back the sponsor. So if I bring back a sponsor now, it'll replace the one I already have in there. So I had NSF, but now it has Army. If this were a sub-award and you wanted to add the prime sponsor, you could do it the same way, same lookup. You can add other information, including CFDA number, whether or not this is funding transferred from another institution, and information on the start and end dates for the award, the obligated amount to date, and any anticipated amount if there's future years that haven't been funded yet. Also allows you to add organizations and amounts for any sub-awards that might be in your budget. So if I needed to add a sub-award, again, it performs a lookup just like it does for the sponsor lookup. And if I bring back Boston University, this is just a way for me to track the number of sub-awards I have on this award. Future modules of KC will have more sub-award functionality, including a way of putting in invoices against the award so that you can track the POs, the invoices, and do more for sub-recipient monitoring, but that's coming later in later modules of KC. The sponsor template is one of the things that I think is really pretty interesting about the way award works. Sponsor template allows you to apply things like terms and conditions, reporting requirements, invoicing requirements to this particular award without having to do all the data entry around those things. So if we have a sponsor that typically always requires certain kinds of approvals for budget deviations, and certain kinds of prior approvals for equipment purchases, and and quarterly reporting and invoices in this particular format, and all these different rules that are common to this sponsor. What we can do behind the scenes is create a template for that sponsor, so that every time the sponsor, we have an award from them, we can apply the template, and then all the rest of this stuff for payments, reports, and terms, we don't have to put in, we don't have to manually key it in. And there are going to be a lot of times where a sponsor template isn't the most appropriate way of looking at something, but for really common sponsors and common activities around those sponsors, it's a really nice way of handling things. So in order to apply a template, I do a lookup. It looks up against all the templates I have in my system right now, and I just basically just select the one I need. So I'm just going to pick one at random. We'll pick Army Research Office. Oh wait, it's inactive. I'll go ahead and apply it because I don't think it's going to do anything. It'll ask me if I really want to apply it. It'll ask me if I want to replace payment invoice information with the template information. It'll ask me a few questions about am I really sure that I want to affect the rest of this document with this template. And the reason it does that is because the template overwrites a bunch of different places in the award. So it's one of those things that's really handy if you have a lot of common activity in this area, but it can also change what you've already done if you didn't mean to do it. So it's a place to be careful. One of the things that a template can populate, but not necessarily will, is the Contacts tab. It doesn't like my frequency-based. I think I'm going to go ahead, and I think this one is returning errors, so let me pull in another template. Just a second. One of the things about using a test system is remembering where all the little things that testing is affecting the errors. So we'll go through this exercise again. If I add another template, it basically replaces the one that I previously added. It won't allow you to add more than one. Okay. So it's added in that new template. One of the things that it doesn't actually match up the sponsor with the template, and that's one of the things I think we'll probably be working on for a later release. But I think that with award, the award area is really a place where the back office will be handling most of these functions. So we're talking about fewer users, and I think it's one of those things that while it will be fixed, is something that isn't as important to fix as some other areas. So the Contacts tab allows you to put in information about individual contacts and address information for people that are useful on this particular award. So, in this case, I had already added the PI. It would bring the PI information in from the institutional proposal if I had linked that up, and it brings in a lot of information about them, including another place to capture their effort on this award and the units that they're added to. It also allows you to import the credit split from the proposal, or to create a new one if something has changed about the award once you've received it. It allows you to add unit contacts and sponsor contacts. In the case of sponsor contacts, it'll automatically put in the contacts associated with the template. You can add additional people, but if you don't have people in here and you sync to template, or you add a bunch of line items and you resync to template, it'll go back to what the template default was, which in this case is this one person for the Sloan Foundation. It also puts in the admin officer for the department that the lead unit or department that the award will be administered by. The Commitments tab shows things like cost-sharing commitments again, where you can capture the amount and type of cost-sharing, whether it's mandatory or maybe third-party cost-sharing, when it's happening, where it's coming from, and it also allows you in the post-award phase to keep track of when the cost-sharing is met, so that I can keep a running total of being able to verify the cost-sharing that it's being met in a timely fashion, so that I can show at the end, yes, the entire dollar amount that we were committed for was met through the life of this award. And I can also add comments about the cost sharing.